What if one conversation could connect you to the right resource at the right time? Let's talk. Welcome to Heart with Christine Matus.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode on our Heart to Heart series, where we talk about people that I've met along the way that I think you should know, you should like, and you should trust. Oftentimes, I'm always talking to lots of people that do wonderful and fascinating things. And when I meet someone, I always think, ooh, my family should get to know this person. So today, we have a special episode today because this is an industry that I'll share with you has always been fascinating to me, but yet also mysterious because there's so many little acronyms and things like that where I sometimes think I understand and then I don't. So we are here today. We're being blessed by the presence of Stephen Kass, and he is the owner and founder of ShoreSite Web Designs. And for anyone who has a business, for anyone who is on the internet, you know that web designs is probably one of the most important things that you can decide to do and the most important decisions of who's going to handle that for you to get your message across. And I've learned the hard way. So, Steve, I am so happy you're here today to shed some light to help others who are, in this area that probably wants to start a business or have a mission or have a message and how they do it on the internet. And I'm so happy you're here today. Thank you for sharing your time, Steve. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for having me. This is awesome. I didn't know that you learned the hard way, but
Oh,
I'm excited to hear more about that.
oh, yes.
But thank you so much for having me on the podcast. I'm really
I'm so
excited.
happy.
Heart to heart.
And I'm always fascinated when I meet people who are so good at what they do, but I love to hear, how did you fall into this? Like, what made you go into this line of work? Because you seem to be made for it. I've known you for some time, and every time I talk to you, you're so thoughtful, you're so detailed, but you are very experienced. And I feel like, oh my goodness, how did he learn all this? So I'm just curious how you ended up doing this, Steve.
Well, I appreciate that sincerely. I really do appreciate you saying that. Been in business now 15 years, a little over 15 years. I like to think that I know what we're doing. I've got a small team, one of nine at this point. But I started doing graphic design really back in college. I mean, I always had an art for design and whatnot. But started in college. I also, while I was in college, went to Monmouth University. I worked at News 12 New Jersey, did an internship. I did a freelance job there. I did graphic design, I did video production. I just always loved that stuff. I then I also got a job. I was working at the Cardiometabolic Health Congress.
Oh, wow.
It's a mouthful, but they did marketing mainly, but doing graphic design, web development, email marketing. I did all those things plus more for them. But really, while I was there, like towards the end, I guess it was the end of 2009, I started ShoreSite Designs because I was seeing where different people, different businesses, while I was working, I was seeing different businesses had websites and they weren't currently using them to their advantage. And I saw a lot of terrible designs, and then a lot of good designs that just still weren't delivering. So, like a lot of companies had something online, but it wasn't giving their customers or telling their story the right way. So that's what got me interested in it, and I just wanted to help and do a better job of helping them. And I started like the company in 2009, and then I left the CMHC, Cardiometabolic Health Congress, and that's where I got started, and it's kind of like I don't know where the 15 years has gone. So
Oh my gosh.
it's
Yeah, I
crazy.
could imagine. And that's a good sign when you could say, where did the 15 years have gone? So
Yeah.
during those 15 years, I mean, I'm just imagining all the changes that you've seen, Steve, from even before you got into the industry,
Mhm.
then when you started industry and where you are today, because I can share with you that I remember there used to be ways you can try to create your own web design. And I said, oh, I think I could do my own website. Disaster. It was
Mhm.
terrible. Even if I thought, hey, they have these easy kind of templates you can use, it was just terrible. But I'm curious for you, are there some things that have really changed for the better? And maybe have there been things that changed even for the worse since you've started? Just curious.
Yeah. Well, so, I'd say that a lot of things have changed for the better. I mean, I'll get into this in a minute, I guess, but with all the AI development, it's been madness. But I remember, when just having a website was enough, and people would, just find you because you had a website. They'd search whatever search engine they're using, whether it's, Ask Jeeves, or Yahoo.com, or whatever they are, or Google, of course. Just finding it was enough. Now, you've got to have social media presence. You've got to have SEO, search engine optimization. You've got to have video embedded within YouTube, which is owned by Google. So you come up on Google. You need to analyze your analytics, take a look at those things. Look at the content strategy, all of that. Constantly adapting to new platforms is a big piece of what you have to do now, for sure. Um, I will say that AI has changed the game for everybody, big time. But in the end, you still need a person to walk through all of that. So it's definitely become more strategic and data driven over time than it used to be in the beginning. Everything got faster. Everybody's attention span got much less.
Oh, yeah.
So it's been wild that way.
I love that you brought up AI because that is something that I'm always curious about how AI is affecting certain industries. I mean, I can share with my industry, Steve,
Mhm.
as much as there are documents that we are document driven as attorneys, I've always seen AI as just another tool. It really should not replace the human being because,
Right.
and I've tested it and I've realized I'm like, oh, if you don't put in the right prompt, you're gonna, garbage in, garbage out. And I feel like
Yes.
that's the mantra for everything, but I'm curious
Yep.
how AI has affected your industry, if it's, I mean, it sounds like it's changing quickly.
It's changing quickly. It's making the process faster, and if you're not keeping up with that, that's it. It's making it a lot faster. But you mentioned garbage in, garbage out. You've got to know what prompts to use. You need to know what you're talking about regarding, which languages you're going to use. I mean, it depends on what the features and functionality are that you want on your web application. Because we don't just do website design development. We're doing, full suite of internet marketing. I started out doing website design, just kind of grew and grew and grew. But that said, it's just something that you need to have you have to have the human still to this day. I mean, you're going to get a lot of extraneous code that's unnecessary, slows things down. Now, there are some really good models out there and platforms you can use to build a website with a prompt. But it's not, it's not the same thing. It's just not the
No.
same thing.
No, you're absolutely right. And now, ShoreSite, this is your baby. I'm curious, can you tell us how that? I mean, it's one thing to be in the industry, Steve, and you could be working for other people, learning about it, but then to step up and say that
Mhm.
I'm going to own my own business. I know how it feels, but I was curious, what made you do that? And how's it going as an entrepreneur, really?
Well, it doesn't come without its issues, of course, as we all know. But I love being a business owner. I don't think at this point that I'd ever be able to go back to a 9 to 5 job, as they would say. Um, I mean,
I'm with you.
man, it's a good question. It's like how would I explain it? Being a business owner has provided the freedom for me and my family that I would never have with a job. So the idea is that I never want to go back. I just want to continue to grow and grow and grow, and then provide my team with a lot of those same freedoms that I've had because I want them to have that also. Time off and working remotely and freedom to build a way that they want to build, within reason, but provide that freedom.
I
So
love that. And the way you describe what you want and for your team, I mean, you're creating a culture of growth, a culture of teamwork. I can feel it already. And I
trying,
can only imagine
trying.
why people would love to be working for your organization. And just to step back a little bit, Steve, so you were saying you do web design, but you mentioned marketing too. Like what else do you
Do we
do?
do?
Like I just want to make sure I understand all the facets of what you do because
Yeah.
I think it's such a wonderful business you have and you offer a lot.
I appreciate that question and thank you for asking because some people, oh, they're the web design company. And yes, we rank very well for that Google key phrase, website development, website design, right? But the full suite of internet marketing would include like search engine optimization, pay-per-click advertising, SEM, search engine marketing, which would be involving pay-per-click advertising, SMM, social media marketing, and paid social media marketing. So, ads on social media accounts, all those things. But we really, we help businesses grow their online presence, and it's not just build a website. I used to always say, and I still say it to this day. I say, we don't just take your content, throw it into a template, and say, okay, call it a day, and here, go have fun with that. It's something so much more than that. We have a process for analyzing a brand, starting to create a brand. A brand is not something that's created overnight. It's something that's created over time. But we do the full design work, the research, the analytics, the ongoing work that needs to happen so that you can increase your ranking over time, get more traffic to your website application or your mobile app or whatever it's going to be to help capture leads, get more sales, drive e-commerce sales, all those things.
Now, what would you say? I'm curious because, there are other people who do what you do. And
Yep.
sometimes I do hear some of these interesting promises, Steve, where they'll say, we're going to get you to number one on Google in no time. It'll be quick. I
Run,
could do it.
run, quickly run away. Yes.
And why is that? Tell me why.
So guarantees, you can't have any guarantees, and this is no offense, obviously, to you by any means. If I
No.
own Google, we probably wouldn't be talking right now. Google is always going to change, and they are constantly changing their algorithms. They're constantly making improvements or negatives for the end user or well, not for the end user, negatives for the business owner who has their application and has been putting in the effort for so many years, and they're trying to change things up just to make it more difficult, make more sales, literally for Google. And I say Google because it's a verb. Go Google it. They're the search engine.
I was
So
just about to say
yeah,
that. I was going to say, like, as much as you say Google, I say Google, but we're talking about the internet as a whole,
any search
right?
engine, the internet
Yeah.
as a whole. Yeah. But so, I mean, I guess I'd say like what differentiates us? Is that like the
Yeah.
question of
Yeah.
sorts?
Yeah.
It's probably how we stay involved with our clients. I can say but we as a whole entity of ShoreSite Designs, we try to stay in touch with our clients as much as possible. We're there. We actually answer the phone. We answer emails. We answer text messages. I still hear to this day, yeah, I haven't heard from my web guy or my web company in months. Haven't heard from them in years. Uh, we're
Yeah, I
jumping
heard that a
ship.
lot.
We're jumping ship. So I'm sure you get that too. Yeah, my attorney hasn't reached out to me in a while. I haven't got any email marketing campaigns from them. I haven't had an email period from them. I
Yeah.
haven't, got a phone call. So I try to do that. But I guess that's one of the main bit differences, I guess. And
Yeah.
then we try to make it understandable too. I try to explain whether a potential client, a current client decides to work with us or continue working with us or not. I try to give as much information as I can and make it understandable because there is a lot out there, and I should try to share it all.
I agree. There is a lot. And I still remember when I started realizing, wow, there's something called SEO, and then trying to understand how it works was overwhelming for me. I don't do this. And so, when you find someone who can break it down and explain it simply, and also, I think, Steve, what you are very good at, you seem to have a good knack of understanding a certain industry. Like you are really taking your time to understand what this
Hmm.
person does. Because I can hear when you talk about your clients, you're very passionate, but I can tell you really took your time to say, well, this is what this guy does. This is the widgets he sells, but this is
Hmm.
why he's selling it. This is what, and that resonates because you know, everyone else is also trying to differentiate themselves too, right, Steve?
Yeah,
Out there.
100%.
And if
Absolutely.
you are just using templates and cookie cutter stuff, well, I don't think that's really going to move the needle for them. But you do
But
so much more.
excuse
Like
me.
you really get in their shoes. That's what I feel.
We do. We try to, I genuinely care about my clients' businesses. I mean, I don't, you're not just a number, essentially, they're that, and that's a big piece. A lot of companies can say that, but do they deliver on that? And I find that many of them can't.
Yeah.
So, I try to do our very best to stay in contact with our clients, stay in communication so that, any of the trials and tribulations that they're going through, we can relate and try to, mitigate those situations or whatever it is. But I always say that continual communication and confirmation is key. And
Yeah,
I've said that in my videos. I say that, and share that on social media. And I mean that. It's the truth. If there's no communication, how can anything get done correctly?
I agree.
So,
And that seems to
yeah.
be the bane of every industry to communicate, but yet I think it's because we also get busy, Steve.
Hmm.
Everyone is sadly busy.
Yeah,
Uh, so communicating, as much as it sounds easy, it is, it's something that it's a skill, right? It's a muscle.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
That's what I think. Well, here's a question,
Yeah,
Steve.
yeah,
I know you've been doing this a long time, and I love it because I can feel it. You have all that experience. But what if you came, here's a scenario I was thinking, what if you came across a person who is interested in your industry or was thinking of doing what you do? Is there something that you can share with them about, you know, if they were to go into this industry, what would you give them advice about? And I guess that also sets you apart from other people that are doing what you're doing. I'm always curious, like what advice you would give.
So, well, now again, that goes right along the lines with AI, but learn anything and everything you can about the industry. Um, Talk about, ask questions about the certain development languages, ask questions, of AI or of Google. Google's AI will give you the answers too. Just do research, do online courses. Lynda.com is one that I would probably recommend too. That's a really good one for training and courses and things like that you can literally teach yourself how to do certain things. Meaning web development, getting more adapt to online marketing. Um, do put the first foot forward, best foot forward, into teaching yourself, and then maybe take classes, and all those things. Obviously, come work for ShoreSite Designs. We'll teach you. I mean,
Love that.
all those
I
things,
love that.
internships, all those stuff things.
Now, if you were to talk to other clients who have hired you, I'm curious, is there something that they keep saying is one of the best things they love about working with you? Has there been like a repeating theme that you'd like to share?
Well, I mean, I will say that they do value our communication skill
Yeah,
set.
that's huge.
We do care about their success. I mean, I honestly, I can say that. At the end of the day, though, we're focused on growth. So, we want our clients to feel growth while we grow along with them. And I feel like they can feel that, number one, they get that energy from us. But at the same time, when they start seeing more business come in, they can say, "Oh, wow, something they're doing over there at Shoreside Designs is working." And a lot of the time, people don't even know what it is. And I do my very best. My whole team does their very best to help explain why what we're doing is working and why what other things might not work as well. Constantly though, I'm constantly fighting against, I say fighting against, but basically going up against other people who say they know what they're talking about, but either they don't or they're making something up or whatever it is. I'm very well researched. I'll make sure to share what I know, and based upon the experience that we've had over the past, over 15 years.
I love
So
that.
yeah, it's that.
That is actually, you brought up something that was really important because, you know, the communication skills that you have, I can tell in your team, is top notch. And I think that's what sets you apart. But I love that you've mentioned that you're in constant, and I get that constant battle against other people who make these strange claims, things that you're
Hmm.
saying like, wait, that doesn't make sense. And then you have to defend yourself against that.
Uh-huh. Hmm.
I was wondering, Steve, is it possible that you can share some tips for people who might not even be like, there are lots of business owners I've looked that don't have a web design, don't have anything, Steve. They don't have a presence yet. And if they were to look for help, are there any tips that you can share with them to say, hey, listen, if you are thinking to set up a website and you want to start to get into this
Yeah.
internet culture, are there tips that you can share for them to look out for, or what they should be using, or listening?
Yeah. Well, it all depends on the industry, but first and foremost, and in fact, I just the other day, like I had a roofer come work on my house. This roofer has been in business since 1983. And he's been doing it a very long time, very experienced, has a good team. All his business comes from referrals. He doesn't really need. According to him, he doesn't need it. Doesn't need web development. Doesn't need marketing, such like that. I said, okay, well, hey, listen, awesome. I'm so happy for you. That's great. But I asked him if he had a Google local listing, even just having a listing on the map of where his business is located or works out of, or just even having a Google local listing period, where you can get reviews and things like that. He didn't even have that. So I said, look, just go to Google, create a Gmail account if you don't have one already, register your business, do all those types of things, that follow the steps. It's simple, it's free. Verify the account and just get up there on Google. That'd be the first thing I'd recommend, would be one recommendation I'd make to someone who doesn't have anything. Um, Something else I would recommend, I guess, would be to, contact ShoreSite Designs, because I I hear that all the time. I don't have anything. I haven't had to have anything, but now it's time. I got to get out there. Because we do work with, startups. We work with companies who just don't have anything, as well as, full e-commerce platforms that have been online for a long time, but just aren't getting the results that they want. So really, we span the gamut. We don't just work within one industry. We don't do that. So
That's
it's
great.
that's really that's
I
really it.
love that. And so it sounds like, depending on who you're working with, there's certain results that you can achieve. I guess it depends on who, because I think what's interesting, Steve, is that not everybody wants, I wouldn't say they want to be number one on the page, but I guess they come to you with different motives, right, of what they want to
Yeah.
achieve when they hire you.
Yeah, this is true. And setting goals and expectations is a big part of what I do personally on a regular basis. Also, I say personally, but for my role here at Shoreside Designs, I'm doing a lot of things with sales, business development, all of those things, company structure, all of that. But I would say that the main thing that I'd say to somebody who doesn't have anything, or needs to get something, is that you can start small. You don't have to go get the biggest and best website, or biggest and best mobile app, or the biggest and best mobile marketing plan, actually, mobile marketing plan is actually a thing too. You don't have to go all in. You can start out small. So talk to us. I'd be happy to share.
I love that, Steve, because you're right. Sometimes people get intimidated and they'll see the next guy has this fantastic, fancy web design. You can pay here, click here, and resources and blah, blah. And then something, it is intimidating. We feel like, oh my gosh, I have to do all that. But I love
Yeah.
that advice. Like at least just start somewhere, right?
Do something. Get a social media outlet. Create an Instagram account and a Facebook account. Owned
Yeah.
by Meta. Just, they connect really well together. Just go. Post up there. Post whatever you can post. And then even boost a post if you want. All this stuff is pretty simple to do. But again, we do it for our clients, so that they can focus on what they do best. But if somebody who wants to do it themselves, they can do that too,
Yeah.
and try.
And and I love that, you had mentioned that there's lots of changes in your industry, especially when you see AI. I mean, you've been doing this now 15 years. Have
Mhm.
you had a chance? I'm wondering, Steve, if you can picture yourself the next 3, 5 years. Is there anything that you can mention about either how your business is going to be growing or just the industry in itself? I'm curious.
Well, the next 3 to 5 years are going to be, big game changers for ShoreSite designs for sure. We're not going anywhere. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, good.
But at the same time, because we got to, ebb and flow, I guess, with how everything's going, keeping AI in mind, keeping, search engine optimization in mind. These, like I said, the search engines are always changing. But I guess, over the next 3 to 5 years, I really want to focus on, um, yeah, I focus on growing my team. I think that's going to be a big piece of it. So, whether it's a sales team or, or a larger development team, that would be something that would be a really big part of it. I will say, video is it's a huge part of marketing now. So, it's a big idea where you want to focus on. And we do video production, full brand story videos, interview style type of video. That's really powerful, as I mentioned before, to upload those videos, get them on YouTube, optimize those on YouTube with keywords and phrases, descriptions and things like that, and then embed them within your website or web application or mobile app, whatever it's going to be. Share them on social media because it all helps. You increase your ranking on Google for the keywords and phrases that are used. So it all helps. So I really want to focus on video too over the next 3 to 5 years for sure.
Yeah.
But we've been doing it, and don't keep doing the same things. I mean, um, as long as we're incorporating new stuff into what we've already been doing for the past 15 years, I think we're going to be in a really good place and in really good shape.
Yeah, and so exciting, because
Yeah.
I love that you're right. Video seems to really be a main thing that a lot of people gravitate to. When I see marketing, if it's a video, I do pause. I'm just showing human nature because I do want
Yeah.
to know what's going on. Still photos are still pretty good, but you're right, it's the video. But as you look into the future, Steve, and your crystal ball, are there things that you're thinking could be kind of like a barrier for you that you need, like you're seeing here's
Hmm.
some obstacles that could could come that everyone should be aware of? Is there something that might change? Like, is there things that
Yeah.
in your industry that people are so into and you're thinking, I don't know how long that's going to last. I'm just curious.
So, so like, I feel like you're getting at something here, but I'd say, virtual reality is something that, it's been coming to fruition. It's here. You have the Google glasses, you got all those things that,
Yeah.
you know, we're into, but at the same time, like we will be able to personalize an experience inside of a web application based upon that user's data, what they've done previously on other web applications, which we already can do now, but now we can actually do it in a virtual reality type of interface where you're, three-dimensionally going through a website. And I mean, I'm like using my hands to like, so like this is what I don't see why in the next few years we're not going to start seeing these things. I don't see any reason why we won't see that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
but
amazing.
yeah, so we'll have to customize the way we do things to fit with all that, and we're ready and willing to do it. I'm excited to do it. Yeah.
And I think that's what makes you also different, Steve, is that your company seems very agile. Like you seem to be able to pivot when you need to pivot, try something new. Because it sounds like there's a lot, especially when you're helping business owners, there's a lot of things that you try because sometimes you just don't know until you try, right?
Well, that's the thing. You mentioned, being agile and going with the flow. Like we work with our clients where they're at, right? And we want to make sure that we can deliver on what their expectations are, but make sure that we set those expectations ahead of time to make sure they're aware. Like, look, that's not going to happen in 6 months, things like that. But not just kind of goes back to what I was saying before, not throwing content into a template and calling it a day, but customizing our plan, our project requirements, our project scope to fit the needs of any certain client to help get them the best results. And that's what we do. That's what we do best. And that's why that's one thing that differentiates us from the competition. You don't go to our sites and see the kind of the same thing. There are trends that work and trends that don't work, and we want to stick with the ones that do. But at the same time, we customize it to fit the industry, the client, the target market, all of those things.
I really think you fit this category of what I call the three C's. You care, you communicate, and you custom. I
Oh, I
mean, you're
like it.
not cooker clutter. You're not, here's the template and see what fits. And that's really, to me, in the big picture, why you're so successful, Steve, and why people love working with you. I hear it, we meet weekly and the
Yeah,
testimonials, and I see the work that you do. People love working with you because you are the professional, but yet you're down to earth and easy to talk to, and you're not intimidating because this could be very intimidating, Steve.
it can. I tell people that, like I say, like when I sit down with a new potential client or anybody just interested or just interested to learn what it is that we do, I say, look, the conversation we're about to have, it's conversational. It's a conversation. This is not me talking at you. I'm not presenting to you right now. This is just us having a conversation. And if interrupt me at any time, ask any questions you can at any time. And we'll see what we can do if anything. That's kind of how it works. And it's worked pretty well over the past 15 years. So
Oh, I could see
keep
that.
keep going with it, I think.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, this was such a treat because, again, I love what you do. I love your industry because I just think it's one of those that are constantly evolving. And the successful organizations like you constantly evolve as well.
Thank
So,
you.
here, I
Thank
have
you.
a question. How can people get in touch with you, Steve? We will put all of your information in chat, but, if
Oh.
anyone who's driving and listening or people who are watching this, can you share how they can get in touch with you?
Of course. I mean, you can always just call us, 732-800-1766, 800-1766. We're out of Wall Township, New Jersey, of course, Jersey Shore here. You can email support@shoresitedesigns.com. That's shore like Jersey Shore, site like website, SITE, designs, DESIGNS, that's plural.com, shoresitedesigns.com. Search Google for, shore site designs, web development at the shore, any of that would work. We're optimized across the country, so those things work well. A text even to that number works too. We can do that too. So all that is really great ways to get in contact with us. Um, I guess, yeah, I've got an office here, like I said, in Wall, so you can actually at some point, like meet in person. You don't have to just, we're not overseas. You can come see us in person. We're real people. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
important to
good.
me too. So
That is
uh,
too. I agree. And my last important question, Steve, I mean, I can see that, this business is your identity. This is your baby. This is what you do. But what else do you do for fun? Like, how do you try to relax if
well,
you do?
yes, this is my baby. However, I do at this point in time right now, this is March 10th, 2026. I have a just about 9 month old and a 3 month old, 3 year old. So 9 month and a 3 year old. And so what I do for fun, I'm that's what I do for fun. We go to the park, we play, whatever, magnet tiles. We're doing activities outside on the swings, who knows what else you got to do, all that stuff. So that's my life right now.
I love that. But,
And
also
you
being a
know,
business owner allows you that time to do,
it
right?
does. And that's the thing. It's not just being a business owner that allows me to have that time. It's my team that allows me to have that time. So I really have to give it up for the team that's been with me for a very long time. And I mean, it's not just fly by night here. I've got one of my front end developers has been with me for I think 12 years. My other front end guy has been for like 3 or 4 years.
Oh,
Back
wow.
end guy has been like 9, 10 years. My project manager is 3 or 4 years now. It's my social media team, 3 or 4 years. So we really got it's really blown up over the past that many years, I guess you could say, 10 years. But I try to what I do for fun. I like to ride motorcycles. That's
Oh, no kidding.
that's it.
How did I not
Yeah.
know that?
I'll show up with a networking group on the
Any
bike
friend,
sometime.
any favorite brand for motorcycles?
Definitely Ducati.
Ah, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yes.
yes. That's so nice. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, now I
So
know. Daredevil at heart. I get
no,
it.
no,
Okay.
no, 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 no. I'm very careful and very, that's
No, but I love it. See, This was great. I really appreciate your time.
Christine, thank you. No, thank
Oh,
you so much. Thank you,
it was
really.
just fun. Everyone, I hope you were able to see what I see every week, that we have someone who's not only just a professional, but a caring, compassionate person who really wants you to succeed in your business. So I encourage all of you, please reach out to Steve and ShoreSite Design and find out all the things that they can do to help you grow because they care. And that's really what it is. Steve, thank you so
Thank you
much,
so
man. It was
much.
great.
Thank
It
you.
was
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you for watching. For more info, go to matuslaw.com.